Dusty whiskeys is a term that you've probably heard thrown around quite a bit in the community. It doesn't necessarily mean it's super allocated. It means that it's just a really old release, or maybe even a label that has, I don't know, gone out of business, gone out of production, what have you. But today we're going to talk about a few dusty whiskeys that are still actually findable and in most cases pretty good. Go ahead and roll that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey. I'm of course your host, T-Rod, and this is the internet's most okayest whiskey review channel. If you're here, it's probably because you like collecting whiskey, so welcome. I know the C word, collecting, is kind of a four-letter faux pas in our world, but there's nothing wrong with collecting whiskey as long as you also drink some of the whiskey you collect. In my opinion, there's going to be trolls that are going to tell you, hey, whiskey is meant to be drank, and that is true. The bottles that I collect will ultimately, almost all, end up getting drank, but sometimes it's for a special purpose, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I have a list of, we got like 7-8 bottles over here that we're going to go through that are findable dusties that are either out of production or the recipe significantly changed or the labels changed, but they're still findable and they're still pretty good in most cases. Now, if you hang around to the end, what I've been doing lately is like a mystery pour. No mystery pour this week, guys. It's a coffee. It is. It was a long weekend in Pennsylvania. Shout out to Blakewater 0326. He led the training class that we took. The Prepared Mindset, thank you for putting that together and making it happen after a few hiccups. And to the rest of the guys who were there, we had an awesome time, man. It was great. Enjoyed some cigars, enjoyed some whiskey, loved every minute of it. But without any more ado, let's just jump in, right? First bottle up. This is an Old Forester 86 proof diamond label. Now, I know it's 86 proof, but this was bottled kind of before whiskey proofs got like out of hand and everybody wanted hazmat and super high proof stuff. These are really tasty because it's pretty high aged whiskey in here, and these are relatively cheap when you can find them. This is the oldest label I have, and I believe if the glass on the bottom is correct, please hold. This is from 2004, I want to say. Yeah, 2004. Whenever I can find these, I buy them just because I know they're really good. I don't flip whiskey. Occasionally, very occasionally, I will trade whiskeys, but I don't flip them. These are usually like $20 to $25 sitting on the shelf. And if you see them, I highly recommend grabbing them up. They have the same profile that you get off of like the Old Forester 100. Obviously, it's a little bit mellower because it's lower proof, but it's more complex because it's older whiskeys. Once they changed the labels, the stocks started running down a bit because whiskey was getting more popular and the blend got a bit younger. So it is what it is, but if you find these, I highly encourage you to go out and grab it. Next, and this one is not one of my favorites, although I do have quite a few of these because I know some people that like to drink them. This is Jim Beam Choice. This is a 5-year-old Jim Beam bourbon. It has kind of like an apple juice kind of color to it. You know, you might say, hey, that looks a little bit cloudy. It's not. It just, you know, compared to what all of them look like, they all have this color to them. And I don't particularly love this whiskey, but it's $20. It's a discontinued bottle. I have a couple of friends that are big Jim Beam fans that enjoy drinking this when they do come over on the odd occasion. It's charcoal filtered, it's 80 proof, it's nothing life altering, but it is cool. It's a fun talking point. And if you're somebody who enjoys this, it's nice to have around when they come over, right? Friends like older Jim Beam. Okay, cool. I have some discontinued Jim Beam. And they're like, oh man, I don't want to drink. Like, no, please drink it. That's what it's here for. Okay. I also have some Jacob's Ghost that we killed a travel pint of, which was not horrible. It's 3-year-old corn whiskey. It's just like really pale. But yeah, Jim Beam Choice. If you see these, I mean, give it a shot. You might not like this because it's kind of a unique, kind of odd profile, and the low proof does make it not the best drinking experience in the world. Next, and this one I bought purely just because I was curious and I had never seen the George Dickel red label before. This is the Cascade Hollow recipe, aged 3 years. So my understanding on this bottle was Dickel oversold their barrels, I guess, which seems odd to say out loud, but or maybe they had a fire or something. I don't know exactly what happened because I don't really like Dickel all that much, but their stocks were very low, so they needed to start replenishing, and they put out this label that is aged only 3 years. Again, you've got this very light golden color to it that is very reminiscent of a poorly hydrated person's urine, but I don't know if it's any good. It is a dusty because it is most definitely out of production. I think the glass might be a slightly different style than what it is now. Don't know when this was bottled. I see what the laser code says on this. I don't know, maybe if I'm reading this right, 2013, maybe? I honestly have no idea. But these are still semi-findable as much as they're like discontinued and out of circulation or whatever you want to say. I still come across these semi-regularly in my area, and Metro Detroit is not the greatest hunting ground for whiskey. So yeah, if you can find it, maybe give it a try. And if you like George Dickel, grab it up. It's probably a collector's item or something. All right, now we're going to get into some of the good ones. I know those were some not so great ones, but these are the good ones. And we're going to start with an iconic one, and that is probably the most recent bottle to become a dusty, right? That is the black cap, and this is unopened, but I did remove the cellophane at the top just to show you it is a black cap. You want the black plastic caps on these. This was before the sale of the Early Times brand, but this is the Early Times bottled in bond, and when I found out they were being sold, and this is going back like 5 years ago, the rumbling started, I bought a case of these things. So I have, I think, 7 1-liter bottles of these left because this was my daily drinker for a good long time. I really enjoy the darker, chocolatey, oaky notes that kind of come off of this. And I haven't tried one of the metal cap ones. I've heard that they're actually pretty good, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I have gotten away from drinking this quite so often just because the collection has grown significantly in the last 5 years. But these are really nice. They were extremely affordable back then. They're still affordable now. But if you can find the black caps, those are the ones before the sale of the brand. And from what I am told, the blend was better. Next, and this one hurts to say because this was a brand that was near and dear to my heart for so long before things got bad. But this is a High West Double Rye. Now, when you're looking for these, ideally you want anything 2016 and before, but the 2017 and 18 batches weren't terrible either. And you can tell it's one you want because the batch code is handwritten. Once they started printing the batch codes, I believe that was after Constellation Brands bought out High West and things kind of took a turn for the worst. These had like 6 and 8-year-old MGP and Barton ryes blended together, and they were like 45 or 50 bucks. Now all the double ryes and the ryes, they're like $60. The bottled in bonds are like $70 and $80. Midwinter Night's Dram, the price has gone up. They did keep the glass the same, which is cool because I love the bottles on these. They all look like they're hand blown. You can see like the bottom isn't even. There's all the bubbling in it. But if you can find these older double ryes, they are exceptional. They're so good. I bought up as many as I could find, and I still buy them up whenever I can because they're just really good ryes, a really nice quality, great flavor profile, and they're slowly disappearing, right? I know the allocated releases definitely jumped off the shelves first. The Burr Ryes, the Midwinters, obviously the Rocky Mountain Ryes never really made it to shelves too much, but these older ones, these are ones to look out for. And if you're a rye fan and you haven't tried these, look for the older ones. The older, the better, honestly. I was going to put the Rendezvous Ryes on here, but I know those are pretty much gone from shelves. I have every release going back to 2012 on the Rendezvous Ryes, and those had some truly high-aged whiskeys in there, and I very much enjoy those and will be savoring every last drop of those until they're gone. This is just the one I happened to grab, but it's more of a generalization. Wild Turkey. Specifically, anything that still says Austin Nichols on the label. Now, I know some of the older stuff from the 80s is like hyper desirable. The odds of you finding those are very slim. However, you can still find a fair amount of Wild Turkey products on the shelf that say Austin Nichols company on them. I've got 3 glass handles of Wild Turkey 101 from the early 2000s that say Austin Nichols on them. Haven't gotten into them yet. I don't know why. It's just something I haven't gotten around to. This is just a regular Wild Turkey rye, 81 proof, but it's bottled by the Austin Nichols Distilling Company in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. I have some smaller 101s. I have a bunch of the 81 proof. They're good. It was when the stocks were older. It was before the whiskey like surge kind of hit and the whiskey glut was still causing blends and bottlings to be high age. I like turkey on its own as it is, but this older stuff is just the tops. It's really good and definitely worth keeping an eye out for. Sam Houston 15 year. Now, if I'm getting this correct, the Sam Houston label doesn't actually exist anymore. I believe that kind of got phased into the Calumet Farms labeling. I only have one Sam Houston 15, and this guy is about halfway gone. 103 proof, really good. Not a bottle I go to a ton. This was bottle 139, Michigan batch 1. This was 15 years, 6 months, and it was barreled in 2006. So this was a 2021 bottling that I grabbed during an allocation season years ago, and I've just been slowly working it down. Unfortunately, it's kind of getting to that point where I'm going to have to start looking to kill it because I don't want it to oxidize and get ruined. But these were 74% corn, 18% rye, 8% malted barley, distilled and aged in Bardstown, Kentucky. Just really exemplary whiskeys. I know the bourbon junkies that kind of helped me find my footing in the whiskey community and in my own personal whiskey journey. They love these things. I do know a local shop that has a 14, but I'm not paying $300 for Sam Houston 14. Not doing it. This one I think I paid around $115 for, which was close to MSRP at the time it was released. And it's good. It's a favorite bottle. It drinks a little bit cooler than 103 proof. If I have somebody special over that's not really into whiskey but wants to dip their toe into it and they don't like the high proof, this is one of the bottles that I reach for because it just goes down a lot easier. It drinks more like 95 proof, 97 proof than the 103. But cool label, love the black and gold, the brand recognition. I have one of the other Sam Houston shelfers, just the regular American whiskey. Didn't put that on this list because honestly, I don't think anybody misses those, but the high age statement ones that are over 100 proof, those are probably missed a little bit. So that's my list, guys. Those are bottles that you can still find on the shelves here and there. If you've made it this far, obviously, no mystery pour, but I appreciate you being here. Be on the lookout for new content. I know the end of the year lists are starting to come around. We're almost into Q4 as of later this week. So make sure you smash that subscribe button, drop a like, leave me a comment, and I will see you next time. Cheers.